Hi, and welcome back to Trim the Fat. It's a podcast designed to help us on our emotional, our physical, and our spiritual journey. However, today we're going to talk about our financial journey because that's part of it too. I am Dr. Rhonda Garner, and I have with me my friend, Dr. Suong Lee. She is the author of the Money Manifesto, and we're going to get into that. But first, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. And if you can introduce yourself to the listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Dr. Gardner. My name is Suong Lee, and I don't consider myself an author, but I did write a book, one and only, and will not have a second book, just FYI. I was born in Vietnam, and my family moved originally to Orange County back in 1994, and then a year later we moved to Memphis. You might ask me how did we land in Memphis? My grandmother, my dad's mom lived here, so here we are in Memphis, Tennessee, and I couldn't be happier because whenever we went to visit family or just visit California for fun, I just couldn't imagine myself living there.
It's just too big, too much, too busy, too high strung.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
See, that's crazy. I can imagine myself living there, and then I can have access to the beaches. And I can but it just costs too much. It does cost a lot.
Yes.
And it's so much. The traffic is terrible.
Oh, yes.
The traffic is terrible. I rented a car. I was in L.A. I was in L.A. For a conference. And I was by myself. I didn't know anyone. And I said, let me rent a vehicle so I can get around. That was the worst. I had to take the rental car back because I ended up having to Uber or walk some of the places.
Correct.
Because it's a standstill.
Yep. Right.
So
I did not miss that at all.
How often do you go back?
Recently I went a couple of years ago, and my dad is actually going next week to visit, or this Friday really, to visit family. Not too often because we have extended family, extended cousins.
Okay. So there, you've been in Memphis how long? 1994?
1995.
Okay.
So almost 30 years.
Okay. Yeah, this is home.
Yeah, this is definitely home.
This is home. Okay, you have how many children?
I have two wonderful children. Colin is 19.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
yeah.
college.
Time
He's out of town in college, and Kaylin is 12.
Nadia's 12. Yeah. Her birthday's, so hers coming up, she'll be 13. All right. Yeah, 19. You look 19. So I don't even know.
Thank you. No, I don't feel 19.
I know, me either. Sometimes, especially when I'm going to work out after I'm tired, I'm like, dang, I'm just tired. How can I condition myself?
Yes.
But okay, well, we'll get into it. I'm glad again that you're here. We'll talk about the mom thing. We'll talk about the money thing. First of all, I want to know, how did you get to writing your, would you say, one and only book?
Yes. So it started, I would say 2-3 years ago. We were eating at the dining table, and my son at the time, he was in high school. He asked, Mom, what is stock? And I started to explain to him. He had this looks of confusion.
Yeah.
Days.
Tell him, me too.
And I looked at him, I stared at him like side-eye, like, okay, let's have multiple conversations outside of the dining table. And then I thought about it, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to write a book for my kids. So this started January 1st of 2023.
Okay.
That was, I like to set New Year's resolution or goals. So that was 2023's goal.
And you started right away.
Yes, I did. It was hard.
Oh my God. Okay.
Initially, my intention was to write a PDF.
Okay.
A PDF, not a book, not an official book, at least. A PDF to pass it along to my kids. Here's your PDF.
Yeah.
And then when I started talking to coworkers, they said, "Oh, I want to get a hold of your book when you have it." And I said, "Book."
Nobody said it.
Right. I was talking about PDF. So I said, you know what? I'll challenge myself to write an official book And I did everything myself. The cover.
You did?
The cover, yes, the cover design. I did hire a book editor. That was the only person I hired. But other than that, I did the whole book entirely myself.
Did you hire the editor through a company or through Fiverr? Did you find a freelance?
Through Reedsy. So that is, Reedsy is known for authors and authors' websites.
Okay.
Yes.
That's so cool. Okay, so you start talking about stocks, and you start talking about, you start putting other things in here about growing your money, and then you talked about, it's all this stuff that we need to know. Mm-hmm. One of the things that you talked about was for people, I think it was students trying to fill out for their FAFSA.
Yes, it was shocker to me because, last year I had to go through this process. Well, I started the process when my son was a junior. Mm-hmm. I saw a Facebook group called Paying for College 101.
Okay.
Didn't really think much about it because I'm thinking to myself, I've been there, done that. What do I need to know about this? But something told me to click on it, to add myself to the group. I learned so much from that group. It was shocking. Shocking to the point where I was a little upset that this information was not known to parents, even to me before.
Okay.
And I started taking notes, somehow ended up with 5 pages of notes just about college, applying for college or financial aid for college. You think saving 529s or savings for college, that's the done deal. No, there are much more to it.
Yeah. A lot of people stop the process because parents don't understand, and the kid's not going to take time to do it, so they'll miss a year because they didn't do this part.
Yes, exactly. So the one thing I want everyone to know is calculating the net price, using a net price calculator, because you go in there. I have a spreadsheet actually of 120 plus schools. Found out only 5 schools were affordable. Yes, because, of course, we don't qualify for financial aid, meaning either scholarships or loans. Mm-hmm. Even with scholarships, it's not a guaranteed.
That's true.
Because my son, he is a stellar student, but it wasn't a guarantee that he will get, the presidential scholarships or full ride.
Wow. So are you thinking about those things with your 12-year-old already?
A little bit, but not too much because things are constantly changing. Okay. So I would think about it when she hits 9th grade. I think that will be the best time to start planning is when they hit high school. Okay. 9th grade.
That's going to roll by. Yeah. Then we'll need to be ready because I'm scared of that. Nadia, I told her, she was like, she wants to go to this, some big school. Yes. I said, that's expensive. She's like, you and Dad can pay for it. I said, no, you're going to get scholarships. Right. You're going to get something. Because I don't want, here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons why I'm glad you're here. I don't want her to be in the predicament I am. I had to take all these student loans, private loans, because of the education I wanted. Yeah. I couldn't afford myself. My parents couldn't afford it themselves. And even with the financial aid that was available that I knew about, it wasn't enough.
There could be better planning because initially we thought, private school is going to be more expensive or out of state will be more expensive. Actually, private school tend to be cheaper if you qualify for financial aid. Okay. And then out of states could be either the same or cheaper than in state. Okay. So it depends on your FAFSA and making sure you use the net price calculator to start that process.
Net price calculator. So we need to remember that. It's in here too, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So one of the other things, so here's the thing. People are afraid to talk about money with other people, but also themselves. Yes. We don't want to confront or be accountable or be super responsible because sometimes the hole has been too deep. They made the hole too deep. So I know you've probably in the midst of you making this book and now you're sharing things and good tips and everything like that. What's some of the things that you see in that type of scope of that?
I think a lot of people have that beliefs where I can't afford nice things or it's too hard to talk about money, or it's too hard to learn about finance.
Yep.
So you have to reframe your mindset.
Yeah.
You have to reframe that mindset, saying personal finance is I can learn, and it's a skills that I can improve on with effort, of course. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you will gain overnight. Remember, I started this journey back in 2015.
Okay.
So 8-year plus in order for me to feel confident enough to write this PDF/book.
Okay. Yeah, because, okay, here's the thing. But some people are great at managing money and making sure bills are paid on time and making sure we have enough for this and have an emergency fund.
Yes, yeah.
And some people like me are like, okay, I just want to make sure I got enough for this. And then if it's something left over, I need to be paying this bill so I won't have the interest accruing. But I'd rather go, I'll pay for something not in needs or help somebody. Let me get this out the way so I won't be losing money in the end.
Yeah.
But it's some people that just won't understand and don't know how things are affecting them long term because it's the right now decision.
Yes, right. And so you have to start with financial goals. You have to start with creating a goal. Okay, let's start with one goal versus multiple goals.
Okay.
It may be, I want to pay off this credit card debt.
Yep.
So once you have that one goal in mind, you want to start setting up how you will accomplish that, meaning setting out a budget, having a vision board or affirmation to envision what that looks like at the end. But
when you say look at it at the end, it's like, how will that benefit? How is it going to be good for me?
Right. You celebrate those small wins.
Okay.
But a goal is a must. You want to start out with a goal and then start budgeting. See, okay, you want to have your fixed expense and variable expenses. You need to know what is fixed.
Oh yeah, tell us.
your monthly bills, utility, mortgage, rent. Now food is fixed.
Tuition if they go to a private school.
Right, right. Anything that you know that you must have to pay that month. Variable expenses are things like vacation, food, eating out. Expenses that it varies month to month and it fluctuates. You don't have to eat out every month. You can cut it down if needed. So some expenses you can, variable expenses are the ones that you can really adjust.
You can play with. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you know how much you make, hopefully. Everyone knows how much they make.
Yeah.
If not, you need to find out how much you make first.
Yeah.
Let's start with that number and then subtract out all of your fixed expenses and then see how much you have left for your variable expenses.
Okay.
And then after you take out the variable expenses, making sure when you take out variable expenses, don't say, "Oh, okay, I want to eat out every day." No, that's not going. That is not not an ideal variable expenses.
Right.
So
what about people that they find out how much they make, their fixed expenses are right there, they don't have any left for variable. So how will they ever be able to do something different? Because they get an extra income.
Right.
Okay.
Then that means you need to have the abundance mindset, right?
Okay.
You think that money is a constant resource. It's an ongoing, there's a constant flow of resource. So you cannot think, there's no more money for me to make. There's absolutely no way for me to make another dollar without a raise. That is not true.
That's so true. But no, that is because we get stuck.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that because we'll say, okay, there's no more.
Right, no more ways. So you have to have an abundance mindset to take calculated risks, right? To either, if you think that you're worth more than what you make, then let's start there. I did create a YouTube video on how to ask for a raise based on your accomplishments and based on your assets to the organization and your worth.
Okay. Now this was, I was about to laugh so bad because yes, we'll sit there and say, I'm just stuck for the next 2-3 years until I can possibly get a raise. But there's so many things we could do. But we get, because of so many things going on with just life period, we've put ourselves in that place.
Yes,
so I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so you said that you have a YouTube video that can help people learn how, people are afraid to even do it. To even say, hey, I'm worth more than what I'm being paid.
You have to. If you don't advocate for yourself, who will? You know yourself best. You know how you contribute to the organizations in your company.
Okay, well, we send this video out to everybody we know because some people are suffering from just being quiet. Yes. They're doing the job. Sometimes they do a couple other people's jobs.
Yes.
And people will they will keep letting you do that.
Yes.
Keep letting you do that because it is benefiting.
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Yes. So the mindset thing. So we got making sure we have knowing we have a goal. Yes. We have to define what my goal is. Make sure I know what the variable expenses are versus my fixed expenses. If I got too many fixed expenses and that then I need to do something to bring in something that's more the tool of money, the flow.
If you have too many fixed expenses, that also could mean you're taking on too much.
Living over your means.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a lot of people that do that too.
Right.
And then they rob Peter to pay Paul. And then, get into a hole with loans and interest and then never see their way out.
Exactly.
So the next thing is like, what habits? So even changing your mindset is one thing. Mm-hmm. Once you change your mindset, then what kind of habits do we have to have? It doesn't matter if you have a partner that's helping you paying the bills, or if it's you alone, or if you just have a trust fund. You still have to have some habits to make.
Of course. So, of course, you want to have a budget and you want to revisit that budget. I'm not saying revisit every month, but maybe every 6 months.
Okay.
If you're feeling that things are getting off track.
Yeah.
And then, because you want to hold yourself accountable, and having that goal helps you hold yourself accountable and share that goal with your close friends or family member, And as far as the habits, you want to set up automatic savings. Pay yourself first.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pay yourself first.
I used to do that.
So it comes in if you work for an employer with 401k, 403b, 457b. Those are all retirement funds, retirement accounts that you could automatically divert your paycheck, a portion of your paycheck, directly to the retirement accounts.
Okay, wait, you said something that I don't know about. You said, I know about 401k. What is 457?
457 is usually for nonprofits, organizations, such as hospitals. And
got it. Okay. I didn't know about that. Right. So, and then earlier, before we started talking, you started talking about the 529.
The 529.
What is that?
That is a college saving plans. It's you put money in after tax. However, when you use it for college expense or school expenses, tuitions, expenses, even buying a computer for school.
Okay.
You do not pay the tax on your capital gains. Meaning you put $10 in, you gain $5, so now your balance is at $15. You do not pay tax on the $5 on the $5 gains if you use that $5 for school-related expenses.
Okay. So is it beneficial to get the fact? I know people talk about it, but is it a benefit? Because it seems like it's just it's not a good.
It is beneficial if you think you will have a large tuition bill.
Okay.
To have. And also let's backtrack that.
Okay.
Some states have is tax deductible. Some states offer that. It's tax deductible for the contributions.
Okay.
Tennessee does not.
I was just going to ask you that.
Tennessee does not, but you can still open your 529 from other states because they have better options.
Okay.
Because I have one of my my son has a 529 from Utah, and then my daughter has a 529 from Ohio.
Okay.
So Utah and Ohio 529s are pretty much the best one out there.
When can you start saving for a child?
It's best to start as soon as possible when they're born because you're buying time.
Yeah.
You're buying time, and the market constantly going up most of the time. So you're buying that time to gain.
Okay, so for the parents that have a child now, say they're probably about 9 or 10 and they haven't started and they want to, can they start? And is there a minimum amount of money that you have to pay?
There's no minimum, and technically there's no maximum, but the maximum I've seen is like $500,000 a year. So there's no maximum.
Okay, so you could put $100 in to start it, just to start somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
And the new law this year, or back in late 2023, they changed it where if you open up the 529 for 15 years and you still have money in it for your child, you can roll it over to IRA.
Okay, that makes sense.
The retirement account.
Okay, that's good. That makes sense.
Yes,
that's a good law.
Yes, it is. And then you can roll it over up to $35,000 only, though.
Okay,
and you can use up to $10,000 from the 529 to pay student loans.
Okay, that is a good law. Okay, finally some good news from the from the law. But here, I want to go back to sometimes when people create something for their kids, or they want to change something or make them, bless them with something, it's because they don't want them to make a bad, move, or we've made something that we made a mistake in something. Was there anything before that you was like, oh, I wish I would have did this before, or I wish I would have managed myself or made better money decisions before that probably made you create?
I wish I started at 529 when my kids was born. And because I actually just started the 529 for my son, believe it or not, 4 years ago.
Okay, so he was 15.
Correct.
Okay.
15. And because at the time I was contemplating whether, not knowing if he was going out of town for college or will he get a full ride with his grades. But because I did not join the Paying for College 101, I didn't know that you won't get that many scholarships or any financial aid. Right.
So mine is, I wish I would have applied for, took time to apply for scholarships for myself, as opposed to taking out, I had to, as opposed to taking out the loans for my extra loans for my education, because life happens, and because of divorce, and because of all those things, you get set back, and then you like, okay, this, if I didn't do, you think about the woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, of course.
And so one of the biggest money decisions around money that I made, I wish I was educated earlier about finances, because, back then we really didn't talk about it. There was, even in college, we didn't have any classes to say. And then even where I grew up, my family and friends, they were doing the one day, next paycheck. So I wish I would have been took those classes or those extra things, or listened to those seminars and said, this is what you should do. This is,
Well, I don't blame the individual, because I blame the school system.
Yeah.
And because, they teach us a lot of things that we don't need.
Yes.
Like, like I'm a pharmacist. Why would I need to know calculus?
Right.
When do I
so it stressed me out.
Physics. When will I calculate how fast a car is rolling down the hill? Never. So, so I blame the school system. But now they do have they have it as an elective, as a requirement, a half semester, and I still do not think it's sufficient, because my son, he took it, and I asked him, so what were you learning? He could not tell me a concrete thing about it, because it was online, even though at the time school was in person. But he said it's an open test, it's online.
Oh, so you really don't have to study.
Exactly. So he didn't learn anything.
It's right. I feel like everywhere, because we're a society made out of these type of things and decisions, and you have all these options where you can invest and make money, or you can make different choices for college or trade school or wherever you want to. It should be out there for everybody, and it could be a requirement, at least one midway through college before you gonna be an adult, because right out of school, people reward themselves and they say, okay, and they make a big decision about a vehicle before they get a house.
Right.
Or, what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, I've been waiting my whole life to get this, and I don't get what I really need.
Yeah.
And then this car depreciates, and now you got this big interest. I mean, it's happened to the best and most of us. Right. So that's why I think money, we need to talk about it more. I had one person on a few months back in January, and he helps people with credit and financial, things like that. And it was good. Like, but we still don't talk about it enough. Yes. So I'm glad. I'm so proud I'm glad that you finally. I know your schedule's both of ours is hectic, but I'm glad you were able to get here, because just being here, somebody's gonna say, okay, I remember, her saying this, so I'm gonna make me a goal. Yeah. Or I remember I have a child that's 13 and I do want them to go to college, so let me figure out what this 529 is. Or, like you said, let me get an extra stream of income somehow, because it's available somehow. And you don't have to. Here's another thing that people that's in healthcare do. They look for jobs that's just in healthcare for extras. Right. And you can do something else that you were doing in the past, or that your degrees, your bachelor's degree is in.
Yes, exactly. And we're in the gig economy. We have Upwork, Fiverr, and other websites. I mean, people, if you go up there and you look at the things that you think you're good at, it's there for you. Okay. You know yourself, and you know what you're good at. And you just let's just say you're a pharmacist and you think that's the only thing you're good at. Go up there and see how you can use your knowledge to help, because I'm sure there are people out
there. Or what they call a trainer, counselor. What do they do when they train people outside of school and they need a tutor?
Right.
Yes, those
tutor
type
to
of things.
Pharmacy students.
Yep.
Tutoring NAPLEX.
Oh, that's so true.
If you know how to create charts to help students, because I created my own charts while I was in pharmacy school.
Oh yeah, you like colors and coloring. I know, I remember that.
I just wish there were charts already made for me.
Yeah. But when you do it yourself, you remember better.
Yeah, of course. But I was copying and pasting.
But okay, so what's some of the other things? If it was somebody that doesn't have a 6-figure income, they have, and they have children, and they have all the things and all the, and they don't see how what we're talking about makes any sense. Yes.
I think a lot of that is another myth that people have, that you have to make a lot of money to grow money. That is not true, because in my book, there is a section where it's saying the first part is grow your money. The second part of the book is how to keep them. So for people that if you think that you don't make enough money to grow your money, let's start with how to keep most of the money that you make. Okay. By lowering or taxes, or how, couponing, finding ways to save. Yeah. Not buying a new car.
Right. Not buying a new car.
Because that car depreciates easily 10% the moment you drive off the lot. Yep. 10 feet off the lot. Yep. So there you go, $5,000 lost. Yeah. Right there.
We don't think about it like
exactly.
that. I love it. Okay, so what was one of the biggest things, what's one of the most, profound things that a person can take away, not just the growing money, not just the assets, but something else that you could say there's one big key thing out of your book?
Okay, well, I have a lot of key things. Okay. I would, let's start with purchasing a home.
Okay. Yeah.
I have my real estate license, but it's set to inactive the day I took it, because my goal was not to sell homes. Okay. I was just curious, because there were so many people taking or getting their real estate license.
Yeah, I wanted to too.
And I was thinking, what am I missing? You know? So here, that's another thing. If you want to have a side gig, get a real estate license and be a real estate agent. That's also a potential. But when I was studying or going through the course, there was the two things that I did not realize. You do not need to have just one real estate agent. You can have multiple real estate agents working for you, but that depends on how you word or the contract. So making sure that if, like me, when I started out looking for my first home, I didn't want my real estate agent to help me at all.
Okay.
Even though I hired her,
okay.
I told her, I will come to you when I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to look for myself.
I looked for myself.
Okay.
But then I did not realize that I actually could negotiate the fees, meaning I paid her to help me do the paperwork, and that could have been done easily without a real estate agent. Meaning, if you feel like you could do it on your own, looking for a house, or if you need multiple agents looking for you, just making sure your contract spells that out.
Okay.
And also saying if I find my own house, it must say in the contract that I do not owe you the fees for the service, other than maybe helping with paperwork if that's what you want.
Okay.
So that's one thing I learned. And another thing is making sure every state law is different. With Tennessee, we are a disclosure state, meaning the seller must disclose everything in the house that is wrong with the house, problems with the house, or hazardous.
But here's one thing that I asked a friend, because I'm looking, and but it's not a buyer's market right now, so that's why I'm waiting, trying to wait to buy another house. But they said that the person that's selling the house doesn't have to tell you if somebody died in the house or got
No, that
killed.
Is correct.
Okay.
The dying part is correct.
Died or killed. I want to know if somebody got shot, though. like if it's a great house and it's so nice and everything, and it's not as much as the houses around. Right. Why is it not that much? And it's nothing wrong with the foundation.
That's the only.
They can't tell you.
They cannot tell you that piece. Okay. But everything else they can.
Okay.
If the water heater's not working. Yeah. They can tell you that.
The floors, yes, it's mildew or
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just say you asked them and they did not. They were not honest with you.
They did not disclose.
That's right, because Tennessee is a full disclosure state. You can sue them.
And get my house free?
I do not know about the free parts, but you can sue them and you can still get compensated or get whatever's needed to be fixed. In not within months, but years down the road. Yeah. 6 years down, and you found out, I didn't touch this the whole 6 years I lived here, and I found out this is not working.
See. Wow, that's good to know.
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yes.
See all the things. So you have to do another book. You have to do, and it could be on one thing.
It's in the book. It's in the book.
So I want to know. Okay, so share where we can order your book if somebody wants to order the book. The website, if you do, you say you share things about different tips, because I know that I'll share, and I know some people might be benefited and be blessed by what you have. So you can share that.
I honestly don't recommend people buy my book. That's funny to say because I wrote this book. But I recommend watching my YouTube video, monthly video, because each month I pull a chapter out from the book to discuss it in more in depth. Okay.
Where can they find your YouTube? Is it YouTube?
On YouTube, you can go to Sideway Up. And with the logo, the letter U and a green arrow pointing up, and Sideway, or you can go to my website or blog, sidewayup.com.
Okay, cool.
To get other informations and get redirected to the YouTube channel.
To grow our money, to budget, to make good decisions, and all of that to be better every day. So I'm so glad. So hopefully you'll come back. We could just focus on a topic and you can teach us all the good things, especially if it's FAFSA when school starts back, because I know that's one of the things people struggle with. They just stop doing it. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for watching. I hope that you found something valuable. Share her YouTube, her website for the tips. It's going to help all of us. Like, share, subscribe to my YouTube. I have a Facebook page now. It is Trim the Fat by Dr. Rhonda G. And then you can also follow on Instagram at trim_the fat. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.